Hey guys, Destler Magic here, and you know I was going to cover this. On Daily MTG, they posted an article right after the 98 card ban in Standard on Arena, which I really appreciated, totally didn't ruin every deck I owned. And the title of this article is On the MTG Arena Economy in 2022. And I'll just cut right to the chase, okay? This is the worst, most egregious, most poorly received by the community, slap in the face gaslighting lie I have ever seen, and it is greedy, it is disgusting, it is completely in opposition to what they said Arena was for and how it was supposed to work, and they just give all these half-truths. This whole article is just disgusting. So it is a really long article, but I'm going to break down just the gist of it, what they're saying, what I think they're really saying, and what I think of it. And then I'm going to point out the extremely controversial, and not even controversial, there's no controversy. Everybody hates this and it's garbage. So the much hated by the community, greedy cash grab crap that they're pulling now, okay, that is how I would describe it. But they open with, for several months now, the community has been having a robust conversation about Magic the Gathering Arena's economy. When you overcompliment the community and say that was a robust conversation, it means it got heated, everybody's dogpiling on you, but you had some, shill accounts or some really clueless brainwashed fanboys say some dumb crap, like on the other side of things in defense of you. That's what they meant by that. How do you know? Well, one, I've seen it, and two, throughout that time, more and more players have expressed concerns, shared their issues, and asked us to address it all. Maybe I will read this whole opening statement. It is just a gem. Meanwhile, our silence has probably made things more difficult. This is a tough topic, and one we wanted to address holistically instead of piecemeal. One of the dumbest, most bad connotation terms they could ever possibly use to describe covering the whole topic. So I didn't watch the, now at this point, legendary stream that they did with Blake Rasmussen, where he just seemed so low energy, disinterested, just not genuine, pissed off at this, knowing that he's lying through his teeth and just this is garbage and everybody's gonna hate it, and just dead inside the whole time. That's what people told me. I didn't watch it. It's too long and I have way too much to do than watch another train wreck from Blake Rasmussen. And he had on the live stream MTG Arena executive producer, so keep that title in mind, Chris Kiritz. I don't think I've ever heard of anything from him, but if he's running things over at Arena, he needs to be fired. Or whoever's telling him what to do or what the goals are needs to be fired. So anyway, the third part of their opening is, this is the start of that conversation. This is not a day where we're going to solve every problem the community has raised. So that's like wizard speak for we're not doing anything you asked us to, we like money. The game is failing, we drove it into an unplayable state, Standard is impossible to enjoy or it's not approachable by anyone, we're offboarding 2 users for every one we onboard. We have to rip off all the existing users as hard as possible because clearly at this point the people left are not going anywhere. That's what they meant to say by we're not going to solve all your problems in that the community's raised all at once. So they do point out, before we even start, MTG Arena's vision. And once again, I'm kind of skipping around and paraphrasing here, but they do directly say, we've said it before and we'll say it again, MTG Arena's goal is to provide a fast, keep that in mind, fun, failed miserably on that, Magic experience for everyone, anywhere. I knew they were trying to speed up the game. They don't like 45-minute games, and neither does anyone else. That's what's killing that garbage new Yu-Gi-Oh game. After that, it's a bunch of corporate speak and a bunch of failed goals that they're not even shooting for at all, and their only goal is money. So I'm not even going to grace them with trying to, read their BS to you. I will, however, read this interesting part. MTG Arena was originally built to engage players with what we call front list play at no cost, specifically standard constructed and recent draft. When has drafting ever been free? So as time passes, we're continuing to expand on that original intent to include things like historic, cube draft, and even alchemy. But this expansion also creates new challenges that we must overcome as our game and community grow. Your game is shrinking, your community is shrinking, stop lying. I have hard, indisputable statistics verified by multiple third parties that say that you are losing people left and right and have been ever since Zendikar Rising. Or I should say up to Zendikar Rising, and for like 2 years before that. So then they say, since this is all about the MTG Arena economy, they're like, what do you exactly mean when you say economy? Yeah, there isn't one. It isn't an economy. It's a reward system. It's a mobile manipulation engine, whatever you want to call it. It's not an economy, not by any dictionary definition. So their excuse is, when developing MTG Arena's economy and when judging the relative health of it, we look at the way players earn and spend the various resources they have at their disposal to grow their collection and play games. Yes, limit the free one, force them more and more and more and more and more into the paid one. I know how mobile games and how free games work. And that's how they all burn out too. You're really actually following the wrong model because you hired morons. So this includes the resources themselves, such as gold, gems, individual card rewards or ICRs, packs, and wildcards, and the ways in which those are earned, such as through quests, event rewards, daily and weekly wins, and yes, monetary transactions. Oh, they're so distraught over having to say, and yes, monetary. I mean, we're just forced into it, guys. Our hands are tied, which, yeah, okay, they can't run the game for free. Well, actually, they could. They could have paper be the one that everybody strives to and have that be the big central thing. Or you could play, the cheap, discounted, whatever, just get your feet wet and learn the game online version completely for free. They could do that. But guys, that would only explode the player base and make it one of the most successful free games of all time. So they don't want to do that. Wait, why don't they want to do that? So they almost answered the question in the header, what exactly do you mean when you say economy? Well, I guess if you take the what do you mean part literally, because they haven't explained how that's vaguely an economy when it's a one-way, non-transactional, non-tradable, just what? And here's where it just goes back to BSville. What are some of the overarching goals or the philosophy behind MTG Arena's economy? First and foremost, we're looking to balance the needs of our various players, whether they are trying, to make money, to make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, and screw the consequences and screw the long-term health of the game, to warp the entire format over digital because the idiots that we hired think that paper's dying and that digital is the future. As if there's less competition digitally. They do say, next we want to try to encourage what we consider to be healthy play behaviors. We don't want players to feel like they must play 10 hours each day and complete all their daily wins to remain competitive. Really, because that's the way you did it until the community complained and then you backtracked. So your goal and our goal and what we want seem to be completely at odds and have been ever since the beta. Only difference is now it's getting worse. So they do point out our quests are based on, which is like the daily tasks, like cast 30 green creatures, are based on playing, not winning games of Magic. That is smart, and I do appreciate that. I thought that was a wonderful design. I do think a lot of the design and the logic and the intent around Arena was fantastic. The code was fantastic. The rate at which they made changes that were pro-consumer were fantastic, but then it was all downhill from there when, the suits got in. They just started with hire professionals and tell them to make a good game. And then after that, they're like, make more money, monetize it harder, make more money. So those are the people that came in and ruined it, not the original programmers. And from what I've heard, they're all gone. All the designers, everybody, they're all gone. They've replaced them with probably contractors, probably foreign. They're doing a terrible job. The code is garbage. Nobody knows how the original code works because the original people left. And now it's glitchy trash that can barely even run a tournament half the time. And the mastery passes slowly got greedier. The wild cards slowly got greedier. The number of cards in Historic you need to play and swap out your deck and upgrades, and the rate of upgrades that are needed, the bar kept moving. They're just slowly making it worse, trying to pinch every penny out of it like it's a dying game. Like the game blew up and then they're like, well, now let's monetize it. And then they watched the active users go down, 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 and did nothing about it because it was a nice, big, pretty, shiny number. Well, now you can barely even complete matchmaking in some of the side stuff because so many people have just said, I'm fed up, I'm done, goodbye. And eventually that up is going to go down, 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 down. When people irresponsible with their money, that type of whale is going to run out of money or run off to a game that's cheaper to play or just get sick of, losing and get sick of stuff like Alchemy where they can't just spend their way to an auto win and go play some other, pay to win crap. Your Magic store shuts down, your friends move on because they're all fed up with it. You're not going to keep playing, okay? No matter how whalish you are and how obsessed. I know hardcore people who are into Magic who have been playing longer than I have that just recently quit. It's really sad. So when they say, but guys, our quests are based on playing, not winning. Okay, cool. There's other overriding factors, so don't pat yourself on the back too hard. But also, let me just point out that everybody on Arena that's left over is obsessed with winning. It is nothing but net deckers. They don't care about you. They're butthurt little bitches who will just time you out if they don't win with their little deck they downloaded off of MTG Goldfish that was supposed to be the auto win deck, the unfair, not going to get banned for at least 2 months deck. And they get all pissy and spam emotes and waste my time me out because they refuse to lower the timers. Even in the Diamond and Mythic Leagues, they refuse to lower the timers when you've clearly proven you know what you're doing. Just idiotic. This is what happens when all the design and all the programming goes to new sets, more products, test them, code them, roll them out, and who cares about anything about like balance or what the users want, what the community wants, bad gameplay patterns, bad experiences. They don't care. They just want more money. They're just plowing forward through the more money zone. So, wow, you can still complete the quest while losing. Well, I'm not having fun losing. I have fun losing or winning when I'm having fun playing the game. Arena, there's no fun left. You drove all the fun out of the format. It's barely fun playing Glorified Commander, which is Historic Brawl, the most wildcard expensive format on Arena, but only because they rigged the matchmaking and I know how to cheat it. Hilariously enough, because it's unranked, I win about 90% of the time. Because I'm rigging the matchmaking, because they're rigging the matchmaking. And since they told me how they're gaming it, I outgamed them. So I guess that's fun. I'd like a challenge at some point, but they do resemble, real games of Magic that sometimes go past like turn 5. I mean, that's fun. Whether I'm winning or losing, I just happen to be winning all the time because it's unranked, people forfeit on the spot, and they refuse to put me up against a competitive commander, even though my commander card isn't very good. My deck is insane. Or I could just steamroll people with rats, which they really ought to do something about. Because that deck is not only a giant singleton violation, obviously I'm running 52 rats, but it's literally a free win generator. So they just go on to say in this article, blah, 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 we reward general engagement, and doesn't matter if you win or lose, just play for fun, and all this other implied or directly stated crap. It's just, there are so many overriding factors there showing us such a tiny little sliver and trying to tell us this is the truth. I mean, what are they, CNN? So if you're wondering where they're going with this, if they're just trying to focus on the positive while not stating the negative, while talking about the economy, which they've already admitted is a tough topic they don't like to talk about, I didn't read that part, but it was up there, they finally reveal it. Simply playing every few days and completing quests will provide a steady stream of currency and packs players can use to grow their collection while still having reasonable decks starting out. Oh, so the new player experience is, okay, you can play, you can get some free stuff whether you win or not, but you're going to lose 90% of your games. I assume you're playing to win at some point. It is a competitive card game. This is not luck. Oh, wait a minute. All the stuff they rolled out lately is luck-based. That's interesting. All the alchemy cards are luck. It's random. Randomly summon a card. Randomly choose. Oh, I see. They want to take skill completely out of it and let it come down to a glorified, obfuscated coin flip. Now I get it. So they want to say it's fine. Whether you win or lose, winning is not the point. It's just about playing Magic. And sometimes by sheer luck and by outspending your opponent and getting more wild cards than them, you can win too if that's what you're interested in. But don't focus on winning. Just play to play. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I play Magic for fun. I play all kinds of stuff for fun. Okay, some stuff I play competitively just because I find that enjoyable. But I play Magic for fun. But am I going to play it if I have little to no chance of winning? Absolutely not. So they're trying to justify how people join the game. They don't have enough currency to get anything. They get some garbage starter deck and give it a couple upgrades. And they can continuously get, as they call it, a steady stream of currency and packs with that deck, but if you want to start winning, you got to pay us. And that's their business model. So that makes it all okay, the fact that winning doesn't matter. It's a 1-versus-1 competitive card game with giant tournaments for giant prize pools. Winning matters, okay? That's like saying first-person shooters, winning doesn't matter. Or like an 8-player racing sim game. Okay, winning doesn't matter in Animal Crossing. In a direct you versus another human competitive game, winning does matter. We are playing it to win. Like, I used to play MechWarrior Online. You walk around with a giant robot and shoot lasers and missiles at each other, okay? The whole point is winning. There's nothing else. There's no story. It's all about the competition. It is all about winning. Sometimes I have a good time and look at my stats and my team kind of lost it for me and I can deal with that because I'm an adult. But at the end of the day, would I go into it thinking, well, okay, but with my setup, I'm gonna lose 90% of the time? No. because the whole inherent point of it is winning. So if they're going to say, oh, just enjoy getting steamrolled by a broken piece of crap that we're not going to ban or do anything about, the whole reason behind this is because they want to dangle in front of you, hey, for like $50 we can give you some upgrades to that deck and maybe you'll start winning a little more. But just play for fun. Play for fun. Winning is not important, guys. It's all about playing, okay? You can get a steady stream of currency and packs that players can use to grow their collection while still having reasonable decks starting out. But if you gave us like $100, you could start winning. But no, winning's not important though. But if you were interested in that, I don't know why you would be, in a game that's 100% purely competitive. Oh, but once a month or whatever, we do like an omniscience event. Yeah, it's alchemy, and we're trying to shove that down your throat, but it's a free event sometimes. So that's their business model. That's the economy, okay? They're hinting at it, and they're trying to, just take a pile of crap and paint it gold, but that's what they're doing, and that's what this is about, okay? Don't get it twisted. Let's get into what they're doing. Let's just cut the crap. We've got the gist of this. I don't want to hear one more word from these assholes. I want to tell you what they're doing. Well, first of all, I got to lead with what they're not doing, because this will piss some people off even the most. They answered the question, if constructed play economy is centered around deck iteration, why can't we dust our collection? Which means take cards you don't want, vaporize them, and get cards you do want. Not one-to-one, obviously, but just have a dusting system. I mean, even like Fallout 4, which is an offline game, you would take stuff you don't want, break it down into like bare resources, and then build something you do. Dusting systems are not new, okay? They're pretty inherent to like real life reality and card games. They just basically say that's not how Magic the Gathering works. It's supposed to be like collectible and you play with different colors and strategies as you learn. And like, they're not wrong, but still, a dusting system would make the game too cheap to play. Let's just cut the crap. That's what the answer is. I don't care what their other 5 paragraphs say. But they do reiterate, will we ever be able to exchange lower rarity common and uncommon wildcards for a rare mythic one? There are currently no plans to support this. I have almost 1,000 wildcards in the common and uncommon slot. I mean, remember when Pokemon Go briefly, and I am actually not really sure why they took this out, let you trade 100 regular candy, 100 for 1 XL candy when the post 40 level thing came out. A 100-to-1 trade-in ratio dusting system, and they still somehow got rid of that for some reason. Well, guess what? I was a hardcore player. I had 4,400 Murkrow candy. So I traded it in for roughly about 4,000 of them for 40 XL candy and got my shiny Honchkrow, named Honch Solo, because what else would you name it, up to almost max level really quickly with that. And even they removed it, and it was a 100-to-1 ratio. Come on. At least let me trade in like 10 commons for a rare, or I don't know. But see, they could do that, but they would have to lower the rate that you get the rares and the commons so that it's still the same rate, because nothing matters other than the per pack rate. It doesn't matter how you dress it up and, oh, you can trade in lower for higher, but don't do too many because you might still need the commons, and, well, uncommons could do this. They would just have to lower the rate of rares, lower the rate of uncommons, and lower the rate of common wildcards in all the packs to compensate for the fact that now you have a slightly different, less direct, but basically the same thing mathematical route to getting more rare wildcards and mythic wildcards than they wanted you to. So what did they do now that they say we have no plans to support this? Directly selling people wildcards. So their solution to, I have 1,000 common and uncommon wildcards sitting around with nothing to do with them. Why the hell won't you just put in a dusting system? If I play for 10 more years, I'll probably have 10,000 of them. Their solution is, oh, giant number feels bad, man, because you can't spend them? Okay, we'll just sell you the rares and mythics then directly. So they're going to cut out the middleman of opening packs. Now you might think, finally, I can just basically buy my way to buying the cards. I just want to be like, here's X amount of dollars. I just want to build this damn deck. I don't want to open 1,000 packs to get, 50 wild cards and then maybe with some variance and luck and this and that. I just want to build a deck, which is how MTGO works. Remember, MTGO, not Arena, the precursor to the other one. You just buy the individual damn cards, okay? Now, they wanted this to be different, and now they're making it the same thing. My guess is somebody in management said, this isn't working, what should we try? And they're like, I don't know, this other thing that's not going to work either from MTGO. And they're like, sure, brilliant. Yeah, directly sell them the thing they want. You're giving customers a thing that they want for money. Like, sure, do it, even though it's a terrible idea. This is one of those last-ditch efforts where you tell management it'll work, implement it, and then immediately quit. It's like when I worked IT at the hospital a million years ago. Like, legit, it was like 14 years ago. So we need $200,000 for these laptops, but you gave us a budget of $100,000. oh, okay, we'll make that work. And then you buy under-spec single-core trash with like the wrong operating systems and like 14% of them were defective out of the box. And then the second that management is like, why is this not working? Why is it over budget? Why are people saying they can't do their work? Why are they saying this is slower than the existing ones? What happened? You say, oh, you didn't give us enough money, so we bought inadequate computers. Also, I'm quitting. You get the paycheck until it turns into a train wreck caused by the upper management, which in this case would be Hasbro, and then you bail. I can't wait to see people just bail out of the sinking Titanic that is Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering when they start losing money in the next 2 years, because they absolutely will. There is no way out of this. It would take 2 years to fix Standard. They don't have 2 years. Okay, they did everything to burn out the community, wallet fatigue them, and drive as many people away as possible, while also just hitting the whales for everything they had like it was a free money piñata, and now they're just down to nothing. They have nothing left. So directly selling the wild cards, that's it. That's the last straw. When this fails, it's over, and everybody's just gonna be like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I'm gonna go work somewhere else. Can't wait to see it. Absolutely cannot wait to see it. Yeah, it's gonna burn my channel down with it, but I don't give a shit. I just got another job. Wouldn't have said that a month ago. Plus, I have another very successful channel now. That thing's at like $12 per 1,000 views. It is sadly coming close to rivaling this one. If I uploaded the same amount of content there as I did here, I would be making more, actually. With 3,000 subs. That's how shit Magic is right now. That's how disinterested people are. You gotta tell people, like, Mark Rosewater accidentally lit his balls on fire at a bar and then went on a 3-state police chase just to get 10,000 views these days. So please, Mark, do that. You owe me the money. Maybe I can make $20 off that video. I'll post bail with it for you. So here's what they wrote. I'm gonna read it word for word so you get the full experience. Okay, but ... forget everything else. I just want to buy rare or mythic mythic rare wild cards. Nobody calls them mythic rare. Mythic wild cards. So I can finish this deck. While this is currently possible just by buying packs, we're aware that the process feels inefficient. It is literally more efficient. It feels inefficient, but it's more efficient. Because of the vault progress and all this, like, not immediate thing for anybody who knows how the system works or can do math. With the release of Streets of New Capenna, you will be able to purchase actual angel dust from us. Oh no, I read that wrong. You'll be able to purchase a wild card bundle for $49.99 USD, which is ridiculous. I mean, there are entire AAA games that cost a little bit more than that. That contains 12 rare and 4 mythic rare wild cards as a simple way to get the wild cards you need to finish off your current deck or kickstart your next deck. 12 rare, 4 mythic. For $50. If you're about to say that price is ridiculous, just off the top of my head, that is, I don't know if I want to give like a multiplier or like a percentage, but it is more efficient and you will get more wildcards than if you spent $50 on packs and opened them. It's close though. It's not like double, it's close. So as with many new features or products, this new bundle will start as a limited time offering for about a 6-week period. After that period, we'll evaluate engagement and go from there. Whoever wrote that last sentence is either the most clueless person on the planet or they're like, even me writing this, I can see what bullshit this is. I know what the community's response is going to be because I'm not a moron. It's like in parentheses, they could have put right below it. So if you guys want this to go away and want us to stop doing this, boycott it. So guys, if you want to play Standard Constructed and build one single deck, drop $50 frickin' and you'll be able to complete the mana base. It still costs $100 to $200 to build a couple decks, okay? These decks might be $300 in paper. They might be $20 in paper. That's what it's the greatest thing and the worst thing about Arena is that all of the rares and mythics are the same price. The problem is that average price is too damn high. So if I want to build a fun, cheapo, interesting new idea of a deck, it costs exactly the same as building a tier 1 deck. And do I think they should adjust the prices based on popularity or power level? Like besides rarity? No, I don't think I would trust them to accurately do that. So that's right. Wizards is now selling people directly for $50 chunks rare wildcard packs. And just boycott it. I mean, what more do I need to tell you? Don't do this. Don't say this is my chance to stock up. If they get anything that resembles high sales, this will never go away. The price will go up. The amount you get will go down. And they'll lower the number of rewards you get from a normal booster pack opening so that it pushes you more towards this in case you're on the fence. I don't have like a leaked statement from them or a hacked document or something that says that. I just know they will do that. That is my opinion that they'll do that, but come on. Whenever something greedy and egregious works, they do it. In fact, when it doesn't work, they usually keep doing it, like Mythic Edition or whatever that was that they got sued over, and then it became Secret Lair. But I mean, bringing Masters back and they're still doing it while the world still needs reprints, so you guys were just wrong for 18 months. But they brought Masters back and it made a buttload of money, so then they rolled out collector's boosters. Like, whenever they find money, they go way overboard with it. They find one little gold nugget in the stream and they just absolutely rip the whole thing apart. Shred all the dirt, find everything, ruin everything, make a mess of it, and then move on. It's like a shark smelling blood, except they're going after money. And you might say, that's called capitalism, that's how a business survives and stays competitive, but they take it to way too far of a degree. And it's all because of Hasbro mismanagement, in case you missed the video on that. Hasbro treats Wizards like a piggy bank. Because every acquisition and project they've done is mismanaged, completely bungled and stupid. They drive up their debt and they go, well, that didn't work. They make an excuse and then they go ask Wizards for more money. And their executive pay is ridiculous. They don't even care if they do their job well right now. I don't know how the board tolerates this. I really don't. I don't know how the stockholders tolerate this. I guess they're just that stupid and misled because they read Hasbro's quarterlies, which they shouldn't. That's the last place you should get any information about a company. So then we've got like the lightning round of bullshit where they say, does MTG Arena take into consideration players who collect cards for both tabletop and digital play while making economy decisions? I would love to know the answer of this because it was so fragmented. They had stuff in standard from the A series that wasn't really in standard. Best of 1, best of 3 were different. Best of 1 got a 7-card sideboard. They couldn't have made it less at parity, an exact mirror of tabletop, except best of 3, which was pretty much a 1-to-1 clone. The only difference is, wild cards versus actual card values. Okay. But if you wanted exact parity, go to MTGO. And that's why Arena existed. They said this is not just going to be another MTGO, and everybody said this is just going to be another MTGO. Well, now it is. Now that they're directly selling you wild cards, they might as well directly sell you the cards. So they're actually thinking, just in case you're not putting 2 and 2 together here, that MTGO, but without the ability to trade with each other, is going to work. No, you kind of need the ability to trade with each other. Just you calling it an economy doesn't make it an economy. We'd have to be able to trade cards with each other for it to be an economy. So their answer is, while we know there is player overlap, each platform has its strengths that we try to emphasize. So let me just translate that. We only care about mobile players. Desktop players sometimes go to F&M, but you know what? COVID, and we're trying to kill paper. Sometimes this means we lean into shared experiences like the MTG Arena codes and pre-release packs, and sometimes that means we deliver products and experiences for a specific audience. Yeah, they can't make up their mind, and different little subcommittees and meeting results come up with different things. None of them agree with each other, and it's a completely chaotic mess. Yes, I'd love translating what they said to what they really are saying. In my opinion, by supporting a play-free path, we hope that anyone who wants to play anytime, anywhere experience, or wants that experience, can hop onto MTG Arena and have fun. No, they can't. And that's why I said, guys, remember, my number one recommendation for Arena was a permanently free queue. Either the newest set is Neo Constructed. Full access, free, unranked. You can still complete the dailies, you don't have to win, you can play for fun, and it's only one set. But then as soon as it moves on, you lose everything because it's an all-access event. So you lose all your decks 4 times a year when a new a standard set comes out, but you can play the queue for free. Or just make a Phantom Draft permanently free so people can get good at drafts. Because the number one thing on MTGO and one of the highest earners on MTG Arena from what I heard is drafts. Because it's actually a lot cheaper. First of all, to build your collection, get wild cards from drafting. Well, maybe not wild cards, but like get your way to it with like vault opening and just getting the cards instead of having to, you know what I mean. Basically, you can money draft it. You see a rare, you grab it whether you're going to win or not. So it's very efficient, it's fun, and people don't like putting up money when they know, oh, I've never done this before and I'm going to be bad at it. Okay, nobody's going to post money for that and pay the ridiculous entry fees. But the entry fees got to be what they are because if they're selling packs for what they're selling them for, you can't just have a draft cost half, or everybody would just run a draft and just forfeit. Just open 6 packs, spike it, and say, haha, I got 6 discounted packs, screw you. Oh, except they would just handpick all the rares. So you can't let people do that, but you can let them phantom draft, only the hottest set that's out. In fact, do a permanently free, permanently all-access phantom draft. Maybe make the draft cost 500 coins. Because you'd be earning above 500 with the dailies, you would just be basically getting nowhere, but you'd be learning Magic and getting better at draft, and then you think, oh, let me look at the prize table. In fact, every 5th draft, or every time they do really well in a draft, you could pop up, hey, if this was a real draft, you could have made these rewards, 2,200 gems and a bunch of coins and some ICRs and some packs. But you decided to play for free. But if you ever want to play ranked and you do as well, you would have gotten these rewards. And then just keep reminding them, they need permanently free queues. You can't just say, oh, it's welcoming to free players because we give them full decks from the welcome decks. The welcome decks are trash and people in bronze are playing tier 1 decks, okay? You can't tell me that the game is welcoming to new people. It's not. And you can't tell me that free players are having a good time because they're not. Okay, they look at, well, okay, I just opened, 12 packs with all the free codes and this and that and starter stuff and, tutorials, color challenges, playing dailies. Okay, I got enough together. I'm opening, 24 packs. They get like 4 rare wild cards out of it. And they're like, what, 4? And then they do some quick calculations. Okay, I'd have to open 200 packs to build the deck that I want. Or now drop $50, which is almost AAA full game, on one little set of 12 of them, plus 4 mythics. You know what? Forget draft, forget block construction, forget standard, forget a permanently free queue. Do a permanently free queue, but do it artisan. Commons and uncommons only, so people get used to burning wild cards. They're like, oh, I have enough of these. Oh, if I want to go into the big boy leagues with the rare cards, I'm getting good at Magic, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to move up to that. And then they find out the crippling, crushing despair of, I never have enough rare wild cards. So yeah, everything they said in that statement is just utter bullcrap and just completely not true. They also, they look like, oh, we're taking the hard questions now. We're coming out. We're laying it all on the table. We've got our balls out and everything. Well, zip it back up, you lying because the next question is, why should I play a digital product like MTG Arena versus tabletop play with physical product? We believe that both tabletop and digital play have their own advantages based on how players choose to play the game, and we leave it up to the players to make the decision that best aligns with how and what they want to play. Let me just point out, the whole point is that you can play Arena for free and it's a good launching pad and it's accessible. When you learned how to play Magic, how did you do it? Did your friend just say, here, you can borrow my deck. Here, you can just have this deck. Here, I built you a basic deck out of spare commons and uncommons. Here, just have it. I don't know about you, but for me, yeah. So paper Magic is also free to play. Just FYI. I've even seen the longtime players where they're like, especially Cons of Tarkir, they would just borrow each other's decks. Oh, I'm going to a bar mitzvah this weekend, so here, have my deck, you can play with it. So you don't have to build the whole deck, but you're sick of playing this one, or it used to be competitive, now it's not. Here, play with my tier 1 net deck. Even they would share decks with each other. When people were new but wanted to go to F&M or they were resuming play after not playing for 3 years, I would just hand them one of my 10 competitive decks that I bring to F&M and say, here, this one's really easy to operate, run it this way, you'll probably get 3 wins out of 5. And they did. They won 3 rounds out of 5 their first shot. It is free to play paper. They keep acting like, oh, paper's the expensive one and digital's the free one. Well, let me just debunk this in one statement. They have said that they make an overwhelming majority of their money on digital compared to paper. So anything else they say that says paper's the expensive one and everybody can play for free on digital, that is provably bullshit. I guess other than the fact that I'm one of the freeloading assholes that's given them like $40 in my entire life playing in like the last 3-4 years on digital, and I just keep, just winning drafts, playing, doing the rewards, and just completely being a freeloading, non-paying jackass. I never pay for drafts and run them just for fun. If I'm going to do that, it's going to be real physical cards because you don't own anything on your account. And you can't cash out. And these assholes don't deserve my money. And they're racist hypocrites who also ruined a perfectly good game. And they're affecting my bottom line and lost me about $20,000 in the last couple of years in lost revenues on YouTube. Taking the game and spiking it square down the toilet so nobody's interested anymore. That's more unique to me though, but yeah, generally, yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at, but you get the general sentiment. So then they just reassure everybody, we're going to support both digital and paper for many years to come. Yeah, duh, until one's not profitable, and paper will never not be profitable, come on. Well, they might kill the entire game in its entirety, though. Anyway, why Alchemy, why not Pioneer, or Commander, or any other tabletop formats? That's another good question. This is the final question. First, as we continually look to provide experiences for all player types, we've found that there are players who want a format that is able to grow and shift at a pace that matches the speed of digital consumption. Alchemy provides an experience for those players, as was shown by the recent Neon Dynasty Championship winning Orzhov Venture deck piloted by Eli Cassis. Holding up one example one time of one person, one deck at one tournament and pretending that that represents the whole. Textbook manipulation. Second, Historic was able to carve out an identity of its own. Yeah, the overpriced one that nobody wants to play. That filled that basic need for a non-rotating format in MTG Arena. Coupled with the fact that there are still 5 years worth of sets to get to Pioneer, oh, they're mentioning that again. We shifted priority to something that we'd be able to act on more quickly. No, you thought Alchemy would make more money. You're literally just lying to my face at this point. You thought Alchemy would make more money because it burns more rare wildcards at a higher rate. Why can't I say rare wildcards today? Jeez. Finally, Commander and other formats require even more effort than Pioneer. Yeah, you got to program these all in, and they're short on programmers. I mean, that they're not lying about. While we'd love to find a solution for multiplayer on MTG Arena, even though a bunch of like random German people made all of X-Mage and got almost every card ever working in like a couple months. Other than that, volunteers doing it for free, pulling it off, we can't do it because there are some technical hurdles we need to solve before we can make meaningful progress. It's not even the coding, it's not even the logic. They could just steal it all from MTGO and change the code to fit whatever language they're running, okay? That's not the issue here. The art and the animations, that is expensive. Whether you get it from a third party, some kind of contractor, buy it all as an asset pack, or go on frickin' Fiverr.com. I don't care where you get it. That is the most expensive. That's the number one hurdle. That's what they mean by technical hurdles. They actually mean financial ones. We don't have enough designers and 3D modelers to make every card animated. MTGO, we draw a 2D potato that's all digitally rendered. Okay, there you go. We've already got the card art. It's literally nothing. Like, we don't have to do anything. A big animation for every Planeswalker ever printed, that would literally cost them like $1 million. By itself. By itself. All the sound effects, the voice acting is expensive. I mean, you look at like, Fallout 4, I'll bring that up again. The art, the 3D, and the voice acting was the majority of the game. The engine, the logic, the quests, the maps, that was a lot less effort and time and economic impact to the project. That's just how games are these days, and they wrote themselves into the worst corner ever with MTGA, making everything animated. So yeah, finally, they're not lying there, they're just not entirely telling the truth. So that said, we know that the introduction of Alchemy and the inclusion of Alchemy cards in Historic has pushed that format further away from tabletop than some players would like. Let me just translate that. They just made it into Hearthstone, and people don't like random crap. They like skill-based winning, not roll the dice, random this, random card, random. Also, the sheer price of Alchemy. So the solution to that, firstly, is to directly sell your rare wildcards for $50. And secondly, to deflect and just say, oh, it's too far from tabletop. Okay, we'll rein it in a little bit. That was the problem. A non-rotating format that just gets powerful over time, and the cards are seen as more valuable, and it's like moving on from the junior mode, which used to be standard, and they wanted a more expensive, like, Commander modern clone, but on digital, so they made a non-rotating format. Simple as that. The longer you wait, the more you have to catch up, and the more you have to spend to get into it. I mean, look at modern decks from like 4 years ago. They were all like $2,000. Well, maybe $1,000 to $2,000. That's what they wanted on Arena. They want to replicate that because they're like, look at what people are spending on Modern and Commander, but it's almost 100% secondary market. We don't see a penny of it. So on Arena, where we can get all the money, we want the high-powered format where people just, in their head, translate it to Historic equals Modern. You have to spend more because it's a higher format. You're more serious, so you spend more. That's what they really wanted. Don't get it twisted. That's what they wanted. So keep that in mind when they give this answer. As a result of people not liking Alchemy being included in Historic, pushing that format too far away from tabletop, something literally nobody complained about, well, except for calling it a Hearthstone clone. Oh, and calling it not Magic the Gathering, but that it's a bit of a weird leap to say, well, it's further away from tabletop. I mean, yeah, but that's not how we were phrasing it. Anyway, as a result, we'll be adding a non-rotating format that exclusively consists of cards available in tabletop. So in other words, they're fragmenting it again so that literally nobody plays Historic. They'll play, what is it going to be called? Mistoric or like Historic 2? I don't know. Whatever they call it, probably Pioneer. Wouldn't that be nice if they got that done? So, Historineer, that will be Historic, but with all of the Alchemy cards removed completely, and all the tweaked cards, rebalance cards, all that. Because why the hell would they put Alchemy, aka Standard on steroids, rebalances into Historic? Why would they even think they needed to propagate it into there? And then they were rebalancing cards and calling them Alchemy versions for Historic that weren't in Alchemy. That doesn't even make sense. Both name-wise and logically, that doesn't make sense. So, more news on this format as we get closer to its launch. Yeah, that's what people were asking for, is an even more fragmented base where you're guaranteed now to kill off Historic, which they're going to keep it running, come on, but you won't be able to find a match. No way in hell. They just made Historic the queue permanently ranked and all this crap, and they've had Historic as like a format for like the qualifiers and yeah, come on. I would rather they make Artisan a permanent format. Whether it's a free queue or ranked or not, or all access, that's what I meant by free, I don't care. Just make Artisan a permanent queue instead of whatever this crap is. I would have at the very end said, okay, at least they're opening up one queue that's going to be kind of like wink, wink, nod, nod free, because you can, within a week, get like virtually limitless common and uncommon wildcards. Or I guess if you don't know, the Artisan format is commons and uncommons only. It's just like Super Pauper. And since Pauper has such a wide like commons going back to, it's Eternals, like 27 years worth of cards, it pretty much just would be Pauper, because the uncommons from just standard sets and stuff is pretty much equivalent to all of the commons ever printed, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would have rather seen that. We don't need another non-rotating format. In fact, we don't need any non-rotating formats on Arena. But the first time they did a rotation, even during the beta, people were like, what do you mean we're going to lose all of our cards? And they're like, oh man, people are so pissed about this rotation. They're losing everything. And they're, oh, all the sunk cost and value. Oh no. And just as a knee-jerk reaction, they said, fine, we'll make Historic. And then they morphed Historic into just, oh, well, this will be the cash grab one. This will just be a modern clone. This isn't the worst thing ever. So yeah, what I've said is we need Extended, and then what we also really need is Alchemy to be a double rotation format per year. They need to do both. Make a longer format where you can play with the cards for longer, and it'll be like, what, a 2.5, 3 year, you can use the cards and then they cycle out and become worthless. Maybe throw in an Eternal, make it like Pseudo Commander, Commander Junior, and just call it Brawl. Okay, that Singleton, there you go. That would be acceptable to keep your cards forever. So if you've been playing since day one and it's been like 10 years of Arena in the future, you can now play with stuff you bought 10 years ago. Okay, fine. Random 1% of the community. But after that, make Extended, which is basically standard times 2. It's not quite equivalent, but it would be like 2-year rotation standard. With 2 years worth of card pools, I should say, or 2.5, because, you know, it's a long story. And then make Alchemy the, okay, it rotates twice per year, much, much lower powered friendly version. Plus, remember, Alchemy's stated intention was quicker card balancing. A more rapid response to making overpowered cards fair and banning stuff and getting rid of stuff that's problematic and raising up stuff that was underperforming so that you could truly play anything you want. Tribal, 2-color, 3-color, whatever strategy. And as long as you know what you're doing, you can stand a chance of winning with it. That was the goal of Alchemy, allegedly. The real goal was money, but that's what they said. And it is what they're doing. They are rebalancing cards very effectively, but they also raised the power bar up, which is just stupid. It's so high above standard. They keep adding 30 extra cards at a time, almost all rares. It's too expensive to play, too. So, they got a lot of problems with it. But if they rotated it twice per year, well, one, that would be an even bigger cash grab because you'd lose access to your cards quicker. So, seriously, why the hell haven't they done that? 2, it would up the play testing, and they're already terrible at it. Okay, little speed bump, but I would love to see it. Absolutely love it. In fact, Alchemy could have been a hyper-balanced Artisan format. That also rotates twice per year, or same rate. I don't care. You get rid of the rares and mythics. I honestly don't care. But that would be one more factor to think of when creating a new set. Because you got paper, you've got sealed, you've got draft, you've got standard constructed, and then you got the shorter Alchemy. But you could always fix your way out of Alchemy. There could be every 2 weeks you could do an Alchemy card adjustment. It would piss the net deckers off because they'd be like, but this used to be the dominant deck. Now it's this, now it's this, now it's this. This is too much, but it would eventually just drive them away. And the real actual deck builders would come in and play the game. I think that would be good enough that they could ride that off into the sunset on Arena. That would become their big cash cow. And people would be like, well, at least there's that. I don't like this, and this, but at least there's Alchemy. That's what it could have been instead of a greedy, overpriced cash grab. And this entire economy thing does nothing other than say, we're going to directly sell you wild cards if you don't like seeing a big high number that you can't spend. Literally, that's it for the common and uncommon wildcards. I don't like a 500 sitting there that I can't spend on anything and you won't promote dusting, so I'm mad. Okay, we'll just directly sell you overpriced wildcards then. Screw you. You want to build one average deck, fork over $100. That was not the direction to go. This is the stupidest move they've ever made. Ever. In the entire history of Magic since I started playing it. Single-handedly stupidest move. Most anti-community, spit in your face, garbage crap. And people say, no, promising us Pioneer and then delivering us Alchemy was worse. I don't think so. Maybe I'm biased because I had zero interest in Pioneer, but no, I think you're wrong. So making a new, Alchemy-free version of Historic, well, great, you made an Alchemy-free version of a format that nobody was interested in, nobody wanted to play. I mean, I was sick of alchemy being injected in Historic Brawl, I'll be honest with you, but that's just basically Commander. It's historic in name only. It has nothing to do with historic other than, oh, it's eternal. And right now, so few people play it. It's so not policed and not balanced, and they're never going to ban anything because they're like, oh, we just rigged the matchmaking based on the Commander card. Just basic little, 3 days of code and okay, whatever. So if you also aren't understanding that, I guess I'll explain that last, and this is the end of the video here. I proved this live on stream. I built a green-white singleton, Historic Brawl deck with Sithis Harvest Hand, one of those powerful commanders you can run right now exclusively because of Neo. Well, and the anthologies, they over-supported that. And Jumpstart, which, let's be honest, was just an anthology, come on. So that deck, I proved it live on stream and live in matches in the background footage of other videos. 95% of the time you'll go up against a mirror match or Golos. 95% of the time, and the rest of the time it goes to like 45 seconds and just says, fine, I'll just find you someone, whatever. So when they can, 100% of the time it'll be a mirror match or Golos, which is, they're both tier 1. So my deck is still absolute fire, so I thought, well, I'll swap it for like Trellisara, or what did I call him? I called him Pretty Boy. What's his actual name? Hold on. Calyx. Destiny's Hand, the green-white enchantment planeswalker, which he's so far off people's radar because why would you not run Sithis? But it's the same deck, so I just run the deck and then kind of ignore my commander. But Calyx is recurring recastable removal. Okay, he ain't no slouch. So same deck, -1 Sithis, but Sithis is fetchable in the deck with multiple enchantment tutors. So for all intents and purposes, pretty much the same deck. With Calyx, I win 90 to 95% of my matches, and with Sithis, I win around 50%. It's the same deck. So I am literally putting in Calyx so that I can cheat at the matchmaking and get more wins than I should or deserve with an overpowered deck because they're not considering the deck, they're only considering the commander card in it. That's the state that Historic Brawl is in right now. That exploitable. So run a power deck that doesn't care about your commander, swap it out with a trash one. In fact, if you could find a garbage like tier 99, non-existent, no stats, loses every time, amateur garbage trash, 3-color or 4-color for all I know, commander, and then throw it into here instead of Calyx and just run, and still, like, even though it's a 3-color commander that nobody plays, only run white-green enchantments and just never cast your commander, you'll win every game. That is like the way to cheat at this format because they opened up such a gaping wide exploit that you could drive a truck through. These people are idiots. They thought they were doing good. They thought they know better than you. Total nanny state. We're going to micromanage and rig the game for you, but don't worry, we know better than you. And then oopsies, people found out of an exploit. Remember the land fixing algorithm? And then everybody at the tournament was running a 13 mountain deck, which was an exploit of the multi-draw hand land smoothing, whatever they called it, algorithm. As soon as people find out it's real and that it's rigged, then it's not perfectly fair and that it's not perfectly random, they're going to find an exploit for it. And this was comically easy. After they came out in the forums and said, yeah, we decided to do, because it's unranked and who cares, whatever, just for fun, because it's a fun format. We made the Brawl matchmaking based on your commander's power level. And like 3 seconds later, like the first reply was like, but not the rest of the deck? And then people were like, put 2 and 2 together and just started getting free wins. That's how clueless these people are. They need to put in, just a hair more effort than that. Just a little bit more. Just up it a little bit, Wizards. Just a tiny little touch more effort would be just wonderful. Because daily, to just get the most rewards possible, I log in and I cheat at the game. Do you see a problem with that, Wizards? It is Wizards of the Coast sanctioned cheating. That seems a little bad to me. That seems like their little rigging backfired. But just finally, is that not the most far left, liberal, authoritarian, lefty, dumbass strategy? Is we know better than you. We're going to take away your guns. We're going to give you free government benefits. And we're going to micromanage your life and make 18 different laws about how you can walk your dog. And we're going to go soft on crime, and we're going to say shoplifting under $900 won't be, oh, wow, the whole entire city is in ruins. How did this happen? Maybe we need to micromanage it more and take away more people's freedoms and manage everything for them because we're smarter than the dumb plebs because we're so much better than them. Isn't that the most lefty shit ever? And the most left politics in the world is found in Portland and Seattle, and that is where they're from. And that's what they won't shut up about on Twitter. So that shocking that design philosophy of we're going to babysit you and we're going to manage everything for you and rig everything for you. Oh, why did this backfire? I can't imagine why that strategy made it into the game. when that's how they live their lives and vote. My God, Democrats are the most uninformed, low information dumbasses ever to be allowed in a voting booth. Maybe they shouldn't be. And on that hot take, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to go play Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire because it's a better game than Arena, because I got done cheating my way to 7 wins or whatever today and got sick of it. So I'll see you guys next video.